Hi, and welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 110. And this is going to be a packed month full of all kinds of fun stuff to watch. Lots of extra videos that are going to be coming up every week. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go on. But let's get started. I have 2 finished objects, so very excited. First off, I have both mitts finished for my granddaughter. There they are. I will put them on since her fingers or her hands and mine are about the same size. I showed these to my daughter the other day when she was here. My granddaughter was up doing a music lesson with my husband, so I put them on real quick and showed them to her. There they are. Get close so you can see the pattern. There it is. You can see it's kind of a lacy pattern. It is the same pattern here that I used for my coworker's hat. And my coworker's been wearing the hat like every day during the day. It's been on her head constantly, which is good. The back of this is just a rib stitch, so it keeps it nice and snug. So that's the back. And it kind of pulled, you can see it in stripes in some areas. You can see it's kind of got some striping going on. So that is the mitts. And I had enough left over that I have started making a matching hat for her as well, because I had, this is the skein it came into. I divided in half so that I knew I would have enough for the mitts. And now I'm holding both of these yarns together to make the hat. And I just started this afternoon, or this morning, I guess. And it's going to be the same pattern again. So you can't see the pattern too much because I've just gotten started. But there it is. It's got a 2x2 ribbing here, so which means it's 2 knit stitches, 2 purl stitches. So it gives it, you can see it gives it elasticity around her head. And there's some of the pattern. So hopefully that will get finished this week because hats knit up pretty quick. And I am knitting this with a size 4mm. It's a US 6. When I made the mitts, because I was holding them single, I was using, I believe it was size 2 or 2.5mm. I think it was a US 2 or US 3, something like that. So because I'm holding it double, I doubled the size of the needle. And these are 16-inch circulars that I'm knitting this on. So the hat is bigger than this. This looks like it's baby sized, but it's just because it's scrunched up on the needles. So that is that project that I've got going on. My other finished project is my poncho. Now I'm going to hold it up, but it's still blocking, so it literally is still wet. I did insert a clip, which I'm going to put right here. Okay, I'm inserting this clip because my poncho is still dripping wet. It's actually mildewed some of my blocking board. So let me show you what it looks like. It still has the wires connected to it for the blocking. So let me turn you around and I'll show it to you. There it is. It really stretched out a lot. It's probably almost 6 feet from tip over here to tip over there. And depth-wise, it's about 3 feet from the top down to the bottom. Let me zoom in and see if you can get a little bit closer view. The colors aren't going to show up real good because I'm in a darker part of the room. There's my stitch marker where I was last week. And there it is finished. And now I'm going to try to hold it up, but it actually even mildewed my blocking board. So thankfully I can take the cover off the board and wash it. I got it just a little wetter than I thought I did. I've still got the block. You can see it's really stiff because I've got the blocking wires still in it. But let me roll back here so you can see it. There it is. And it really stretched out well. I'll hold it up against me so you can kind of get an idea. There you can see. I'm going to hold it up here so you can kind of see, but do it with my chin. There. Now you can see where my arms fall right here and where the front of it falls. See if I can do that without poking myself in the eye with the wires. So I will hold this up close. You can see where I've got blocking wires crisscrossed right here because they weren't long enough. And then I've got them on this end crisscrossed and coming to pull out the bottom part here. I've got wires here too. So wires everywhere. And when I finished the poncho, I literally had 3 balls of yarn like this left. The blue, the red, and the oatmeal color, only about like that. I meant to bring them upstairs with me, but I forgot. So those are my 2 finished objects. So the other items I have that I've been working on, my Plaid Apptation, I worked on this a lot. I was in a 3-hour meeting this week with work. And I knitted all the way through the meeting. And actually I'm right in the middle of a row, but you can see right here where I was at last week. And I have knit all the way up to here. So here it is so far. This is the second half of it. It was funny. There I am sitting in the meeting and people are leaning over going, "What are you making?" It was like trying to be real quiet and knit. And I told them it was my adult fidget spinner is knitting. It keeps me paying attention during meetings. Otherwise, I tend to just doodle all over the paper and my mind wanders, so I'm better off to keep my hands busy. So I've been working on that. And I did film a tutorial on doing the duplicate stitch on this, which is what makes this look like a plaid. I showed you the other half of it when I finished it. So I did film that. So that is one of the upcoming videos. The other project I have going on is my crochet project, and this is for a lady at church. And let me see. Here is my project keeper from last week. It's hooked right here. So it doesn't look like I did all that much, but it's getting wider, so it takes me a little longer. And it is really not blue the way it's showing up. It's actually, those are grays. Blues, just things with blue tones show up weird in videos, but it's actually, there you can see it. It's actually gray, and this is a charcoal gray. And then it goes down to some tans, and now I'm getting into the gold colors. So it's real pretty. This is what I have left of the first skein, and I have a second skein of this, and the yarn that I am using is Lion Brand Mandala yarn. So, and that's what it looks like. And again, the blue is actually a deep charcoal. So next I have one more project that I want to get accomplished before Christmas because it's sparkly, and that's like the only time I'm going to wear something like this. I got these. This is Fiza Jewel. I got these at my local yarn shop, which is Creative You in McSherrystown, Pennsylvania. And I bought these last year, but I never got this made. So this is going to be Knit Night project. It only requires, the shawl I'm making out of this only requires 500 yards. And it's a 2-color shawl, and it requires 250 of each color, and there's 270 yards of each of these. So I will be good. And let's see if I can show these to you close. See how sparkly they are? They're 2 different shades. This is the darker one, and that's a lighter one. And the pattern I'm making, I've actually made before. The Cooper Spur pullover that I just finished for a test knit for Janine McCarty. She had sent me this pattern, the Yaksa Shawl, and I have made this before. She sent it to me last year sometime, and I made it in 3 colors. I made it in 3 autumn colors last year. but I'm going to do the silver shawl in these in just as a 2-color. I'm going to do it just as it's done in this pattern, except with the silvers, of course. So, yeah, that will be Tuesday night's project that I'll work with. And I have made, like I said, I have made this shawl before, and it knits up pretty fast. So, that is the last project I have that I hope to finish. Between that and the hat, those are 2 projects I hope to get done by Christmas. So I do have an update also on the Whitehorn shawl, the gray one that I made that I wasn't real happy about, the little tab thing at the collar, how it didn't, I didn't like how it turned out real well. A lot of it did have to do with the fact that I used acrylic yarn. It just did not stretch out the way it would if it was a natural fiber. But I did reblock the top part of it, and it is a little bit better. So I did insert some, or did film it and show what it looks like. So I'm going to insert that right here. This is that Whitehorn shawl that I had worked on that had the kind of funny point and made a kind of a strange shape. Just wanted to give you a little update on it. It did block out. It still has a little teeny bit of a tab, but not like what it did. And I think had I done this with wool instead of acrylic, it totally would have completely blocked out. But it is definitely much, much better now. So now, about 2 weeks ago, Magda has sent us a picture of a poncho or shawl that her mother had made for her, and it was a black background with like different jewel tones. It was a granny square type of construction. And Deborah, her name's Deborah Bell, she actually sent me a picture of an Afghan that she is putting together, and it's almost the reverse of that same type of pattern. Hers has a white background and the multicolor in the center of the granny squares. So I'm going to insert the pictures of it that she sent me. So I think it's so funny how 2 very similar patterns, how much difference the color can make between the dark and the light. And then I was like, well, that could be really cool. You could use the dark, if you made a dark one, you could use it with, you know, like in the winter time. And the lighter one is spring and summery looking. So you could have seasonal Afghans. Yeah. Anyway, that type of project is an excellent way of using up little leftover scraps, like in a memory Afghan, things that you've got leftover yarn from that you've made different things for different people. Sort of like a cozy memory blanket in knitting, you could do that in the crocheting. So just some ideas for using up your scraps. So wanted to say a special shout out to a podcast called Dizzy Stitches. That's Desiree. She contacted me earlier this week in email, and she and I chatted back and forth and wished each other a Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas again, Desiree. So anyway, just go over and check out her channel. It is a crochet channel, and it is called Dizzy Stitches. And she is one of the participants in the Traveling Infinity Shawl, or Traveling Infinity Scarf that Seta is doing. So, yeah, check that out. That is one channel to go over and take a peek at. This past week, we had the end of our fall along, and if you watched on Wednesday, you would have seen the parade of projects. We had 377 projects, and the winner was Mary, and she has come forward and has gotten her prize. In fact, it was in the mail. As you're watching this, she should either have gotten it or will be getting it on Monday. Depends on how fast the post office gets it delivered to her. So she responded right away. So congratulations again, Mary, on your butterfly shawl, which was the winning pattern. And if you haven't watched the fall along, go over and check it out. I will put a link to it right over here because it was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. And I actually sat down and watched it a second time. You know, I saw all the pictures when they were coming in as entries and when I put them up onto the film and edited them, but I actually had never sat down and just enjoyed watching them. So I sat down one afternoon or one evening and just watched a good portion of it and looked through some of those patterns over again and added just a few more to my Ravelry library. So yes, it was definitely pattern enabling, we'll say, because I kept adding stuff in there. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Somebody asked me, are we going to do a Christmas along? Not right now. I'm a little burned out, but actually this month is really busy, and I've seen so many of the podcasters are doing the Vlogmas videos, and I did a yarn advent calendar last year, and it was like 21 days worth of opening and knitting and showing what I had made, and I was knitting them into a cozy memory blanket, and each day I would open up a new little mini skein, and I would knit it and show it the next day. If you didn't see that, I will put a link to that up right here, and you can go check it out if you want to watch all 21 videos of the different yarn I got. I actually ordered it from one of the viewers here. Her name is Paula, and she has a eBay store, and I got them from her. It wasn't packaged as a yarn advent calendar. I think the yarn advent calendars would be a lot of fun, but they're also very expensive, and I don't want to spend that much. So what I did is I bought a whole group of mini skeins. I think it was $25 plus shipping. And then I just each day reached randomly into the bag without looking and pulled one out. So a cheap version of a yarn advent calendar. Just saying, it's an idea. But anyway, I'm not doing Vlogmas this year, and I'm not going to do a Christmas along, just because we just finished up, and I've got relatives coming in. My son and daughter-in-law and grandchildren will be coming in and staying with us for about a week. So I want to be able to spend time with them and not be trying to get all the filming done and stuff. But I am going to film some of our fun stuff and try to save it and get it edited so you all can see what we have going on, because we're going to be doing some Christmas caroling. I'm going to be doing puppet caroling with my work. We're going to some of the nursing homes in the area, and my department does puppets, and they do story times and things like that. So I'm playing the guitar. We're doing Christmas carols and having a little photo booth, and they can get their pictures taken with some of these puppets. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. So hopefully I'll get a little bit of film from that. And some of just the general Christmas craziness with our family, because we all get together and play crazy games and stuff like that. So it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully we will take you along. And we're going to, I think we're going to go looking at Christmas tree lights this year. Although I do notice that not as many people decorate their houses as they used to. When I was a kid, I remember my father and all the other neighborhood men hanging out on ladders, putting, all the lights outlining their houses. It doesn't get done as much as it used to. So, in fact, our house looks like Scrooge lives at it right now, because everything inside, my husband and I decorated this afternoon, but the outside, we didn't do anything to. One year, the very first year we moved in, I decorated the outside of the house. I mean, our previous house, we lived way back in the woods where nobody could see us, so we really didn't want to advertise that here we are out in the middle of nowhere. So we didn't decorate the outside of the house. So when we moved where we're at now, and we're in a neighborhood, the very first year I thought, I'm going to decorate the house. So I climbed up on the ladder, and I had this really pretty garland running across the front porch with little red bows. And then a windstorm came up and it fell down, and I went out and I put it back up again, and more wind came up and it fell back down. So I hung the garland back up again, wind hit it again, down it went. After 3 tries, I gave up, and I haven't decorated the outside of the house yet. Well, I take it back. We have a garland with lights hung around the door. So that's as Christmassy as the outside of our house is. So we're only semi-Scrooge, but yeah. Anyway, I thought I would also show you, because it looks like Christmas exploded in downstairs at my house right now. I've got all of the presents and all of the gifts like stacked all over the kitchen table, and I'm in the middle of wrapping. I thought before I wrapped up the homemade gifts that I've made, I would show them. I've already shown you what I made for my granddaughter. This is a shawl that I made for my daughter. She saw this when I first finished it and liked it. And so I decided I would give it to her even though she doesn't know she's getting it. And this is actually my pattern, Keeping You in Stitches, but it's done with a variegated yarn. So you actually can't see the pattern on it really well. But she liked it, so she'll be getting that one. My daughter-in-law is going to be getting a shawl I made. This is out of a cotton and linen silk. And it is There Is Water at the Bottom of the Ocean by Barbara Benson. And there it is. And here's what the edges look like. This is very much her color. I need to weave in the ends on it yet. You can see I've got an end hanging right there. But yeah, this is very, very much something she would wear because she's blonde hair, blue-eyed. This would really go well with her because this is kind of a silvery blue. It's looking real silver here, but it's not. It's a silvery blue. And it's a lace pattern. And then for my mother, I am giving her a shawl that I made. It is On the Spice Market by Melanie Berg. And here is one end of it. And this is just a variegated yarn. And then it goes to this. And there's the end of it. And it goes across here. And this is super, super soft because the black yarn that's in here is actually made from sugarcane. It is extremely soft. So this was fun to knit, and because it's so soft and it's very drapey because of it, you can kind of see it kind of has a lot of bounce to it. So, and these colors are definitely something my mother would enjoy. So, yeah, that's what I made for her. So thought I would show those to you before I get them wrapped up, and then it would be too late. So that is all of the goodies for this week. Let me tell you upcoming videos. This Wednesday, we are going to be having a tutorial on knitting with DPNs, which are double pointed needles. And next Wednesday, in a follow-up to that, we're going to be I'm doing a tutorial on knitting with the magic loop method. So you can use double pointed needles or you can use magic loop to do the same thing. So that's why I kind of paired those two together. So this coming Wednesday is going to be a DPN or double pointed needle tutorial. And in we have from Annie's, we have 900 plus clearance items on sale up to 50% off. So yes, they're having their big end of the year sale. So that is Annie's. And the links to all of these that I'm going to share with you are right down below in the description box. Hobium Yarn has their Kartopu brand yarn on sale. When I looked, they had numerous different types of that brand. 5 skeins for $9. That's not $9 a skein. That's 5 skeins for $9. So yeah, some good deals over there at Hobium. Knit Picks, it has some new stuff out. They are first off running a flash sale. It only is running today and tomorrow. So just Saturday and Sunday. That would be the 8th and the 9th of December 2018. It is a flash sale. Their monthly yarn they always mark for 20% off is their Stroll Gradient yarn is 20% off. That's what they've chosen for their yarn of the month. And here's a cool thing. They've started a subscription box, sort of like Knit Crate. They have a subscription box too. They have several different ones to choose from. I'm not sure what the prices are on the different boxes. I do know the crochet box is $27 a month. That one I did look at a little bit closer. But they have a skill builder box. They have a sock yarn box. They have a fan favorites box. They have a crochet lover box. And they have a sock lab box. So I guess it's learning different sock making skills. So yes, those are ones to check out. And again, that is Knit Picks. Lion Brand Yarn has 35% off of their yarn and kits. So that's another one to look at. And Craftsy is running the 12 days of Craftsy. Every day for 12 days, and I think they're on day number 7. They are running doorbuster sales. So every day there's new things that they have that are on sale for that day. So that is a fun one to check out as well. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. And again, don't forget to watch the video coming up on Wednesday. And otherwise, I will see you again next Saturday. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.